you know, and that's the beautiful thing. Like, I'm pretty good at like lying and stealing and all that type of stuff, and Australians fall in love with it.
You've hit the jackpot. You've found the perfect role where all you have to do is sit there and talk shit, and people love you for it. Imagine, and this is kind of the same. We're sitting down talking shit and just
so
having a good time.
I actually thought I'd actually branch it out and turn it into another.
Perfect.
Welcome to the jungle with Toki and the Crow.
Got your head nod. Got your head nod. I'm deadly when I pull the pin out.
This is the Welcome to the Jungle podcast. Something we've been wanting to do for a while now. I've got my host, the Crow, right beside me.
Yes, you do. I was wondering whether you were going to welcome it as in welcome to the jungle in the podcast.
Oh, yeah, like welcome to the world.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, and then I was wondering if he did get sucked into that, would he be able to get out of the loop of saying welcome? So he'd be like, welcome to the to the jungle podcast.
Yeah.
But he didn't do that, so we're in the clear.
I'm
Imagine
curious,
if I-
have you bought the rights to the song that you're playing over it?
Yeah.
No, of course not. We're from Rockingham. You know what I mean? We steal shit. And today's guests are Olivia and Ben. Ninja
Howdy.
Warriors, they're royalty.
Royalty. I don't think Ninja Warrior and royalty should be in the same sentence.
I'm gonna throw it
I
out
think he's just
there.
lying because we got the silver, whereas they got the gold.
Yeah, I know.
We
I think there's a bit of
are already
hierarchy.
not royalty.
Hierarchy
This
going
was
on
planned.
here.
The gold mics were planned
Uh-huh.
to come this way.
I see.
Yeah.
We actually I bought the silver ones and Ben bought the gold ones.
I thought you
It
said
looks
you
good.
steal
so
everything.
it's actually
Yeah, called out.
well, I bought it from my drug dealer.
Who stole it from someone else?
Yeah, exactly.
So originally they are stolen.
Exactly.
Right,
So
that makes sense.
Thanks for having us, guys.
you can
Appreciate
see
it.
the serial code is actually scratched off.
Oh, okay. Yeah, sure.
Yeah, it was by accident. Yeah. Cheers for coming on the show.
Thank you very much.
When obviously I first met you, Olivia was at A Stitch in Time with
Yeah.
Greg Hyacinth,
Good
and what a
times.
night that was.
Yeah.
That was a ripper. And
I don't remember it.
yeah, no, yeah, well, you were walking around the place like legit handstanding. That's why I was like, holy moly, what does she do? Like, you know what I mean? And then to see you the last 2 seasons on Ninja Warrior, just animal, just hanging up there, waving to the audience.
I was watching a thing on your
Smoking
website. It's like the little background video, and you run up the ramp,
Yeah.
and you're forwards, then you turn backwards and flip your legs over your head.
Yeah.
That's exciting
the
to me.
Yeah.
You know, in my private life and in watching someone on their website.
Oh, wow. Okay, hold on a second. What website was this you were watching that on?
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Where I
this is-
turn myself around and
I've seen that in the bedroom too. So it's where we practice that move. You know, I was the warped wall in that scenario.
Oh my god.
You were afterwards.
Yeah, I'm the one that still had to hit the buzzer. So.
That's right. On that red knob, boom.
Stop. Oh man, no, but you have absolutely killed it, and I think you
Thank
should
you.
be super proud of yourself. Like I just, as I said, to watch you when I met you, you were just cool as, you know. I didn't really know too much about you, just as myself. Like as you said, you hadn't watched Survivor until this season, you know, and now like obviously like one of my biggest fans.
No, it's cool. I think it's nice to meet people who have done another reality show or done something of note, and you don't really
What are
know
you saying
that
about
yet.
me?
Like
What are you saying about me then? Because I don't know shit.
Well, hey, you're running the best
So
podcast in
why
Australia,
are you-
right? Number 1 podcast.
It's
no,
trending.
you know.
Because when I met Olivia, she's an Olympic gymnast, and I had no idea. And then so going through that stage of getting to know her, I was learning all that for the first time, which was fascinating. And you would always tell me how you would go on certain dates, and guys would sit there at the date and rattle off all these amazing things that you've done to
They're like,
yourself.
so I Googled you and you're like,
Well, I've been to the Olympics.
Yeah. And it's just super odd. It creates that like separation immediately when you come off as like, oh my God, I love you, which is fine. Like, but it's kind of nice to meet you for the first time. And initially I was like, this guy is a dick.
Yeah, no, well that's
I
exactly.
don't like this guy
It took
at
me
all.
probably about 20 meetings for
Well, that's how I felt for about 12 years. So I'm still trying to get there.
I asked a few questions, and I think this is a perfect one to start off with, which is especially for both you guys. You are both, how the hell did you get to now? Is one of the questions I got asked was, how did the love of your gymnastics and that start? So like where, you know, I suppose it would have had to start at some point when you're little, because I couldn't start that right now. You know what I mean?
No
like,
way.
Yeah,
Well,
surely
in this
you-
flexibility.
You could. It could be just way more entertaining.
yeah, just like a warp wall, just an absolute like mess.
Pulling hamstrings.
Yeah.
So for gymnastics, I guess that came. My mum dragged me to a class. I did not want to go, but I had a friend staying the night. Her name was Natasha, and she had class that evening. And of course, Mum couldn't leave me at home. And she said, "Do you want to go to gymnastics?" And I said, "Nah."
Yeah.
And she was Mum's a tough cookie, and she was like, "Too fucking bad. Get in the car."
I heard it
She
was
didn't
late,
swear.
or old in terms of starting
Yeah,
the gym. So
8
you
is,
were
8 is a bit
eight.
late,
Yeah.
but it
So
was one of
Chinese
those.
people. They start at like
In the womb.
Yeah.
I've seen it.
trying to get out of it. Like,
those China athletes.
They come out there already after the they're sold off already.
They come out in handstand out of the. I won't say the word, but you know what I'm talking about.
what's a regular age then to start? If 8's too
the
old,
flower.
you got to have like old grey beard and shit at 8.
So yeah,
Normally about 4 or 5, but it was one of those situations where I went into the gym. I
Yeah.
saw the uneven bars.
Yeah.
So
They're your favourites, aren't they?
They are my favourites. Just I'm a monkey, just like that. And she couldn't get me out of the gym, so it's just one of those scenarios. I fell in love with it and had a passion for it for a long time.
Did you just realise you just had like a weird type of grip, or did you reckon you built that up?
I think it's an understanding of
Still talking
swing.
about gymnastics here?
Back to the wall.
It's a very odd grip.
Yeah,
you're gonna
We are playing a drinking game while
well
we do
played.
this.
Well played. You can look at it.
I didn't even see you guys do it. Did you do it because I did?
Yeah.
Oh, well done.
Yeah. I'm very observative.
I am not.
Oh, you started that, did you?
For some reason, I
Apparently.
feel like some of you's gonna. Have you not found the hidden immunity idol yet?
No.
Yeah, no, because I haven't played it one.
Have you got one around here?
Not yet.
Damn.
I already,
Don't be looking.
already
That's
pla-
what. Of
already
course,
pla-
you say no.
I already played it in the game.
I'm onto you, bro. I've been watching you for the past few weeks, okay? Whatever you say, I don't believe. I'm going to think the opposite.
All right, so you're 8 years old.
Yeah.
Yep, you got a full beard. Is that what you said?
Yeah.
Fully
It was
grown beard.
grey already.
And then so
Yeah.
you're training, and you've just found a love to it.
Yeah, I did. I think it's just that movement of
Yeah.
the bars, the swing, the body awareness. Whereas you put me on the vault strip,
Yeah.
and I run like a drunk deer.
Oh, really?
It's bad.
Oh, really?
It's pretty bad. It's
So
It's horrible.
yeah. So that's
seen it.
probably why you walk with your arms. Is that like, 'cause
I
you
am
can actually walk
safer
better?
on my
Yeah,
hands,
she really
trust
is.
me. But and it was just one of those things. So as the years went by, every time we'd train all 4 apparatus in gymnastics,
Yeah.
but every time I got to bars, I tried harder and became a specialist on it.
So and then you went to
Yep.
so then obviously like because I don't know this that much. So you went to the Olympics.
Yes. So after I was.
All right.
It's kind of just like, who wants to do the Olympics? Yeah, I'll go.
Yeah, well that's
Yeah, all right, yeah, sure.
Exactly how it happened. No, it was definitely. It was the age of 12. I decided that was the goal, that was the dream, and I was invited to the WA Institute of Sport, and they had the facilities, the coaching, and everything behind it to get you there, and it's up to you. So it was one of those. It's a hard journey, no joke. It's
anything to
34 hours a week of training.
Yeah.
It's grueling.
And that's at 12 years old.
About
What was
15, 16, it
Okay.
ramps up to that.
15, 16.
Yep. So as a 16, you're a senior
Yeah.
in gymnastics.
Did you have a coach?
Yep, I had 2.
Oh,
Yep.
oh, really? Just for you?
Just personalised coaches.
Really?
Paid them cash under the... No.
At 15 years old.
Yeah, you've been seeing that same
Maybe
deal.
dealing
I always
Pokemon
hear.
cards or someone.
It was
No.
an
Shiny
extra
Charizard.
ball.
It's actually quite the opposite. You have 2 and you have a group.
Yeah,
And you find that favouritism's a big thing.
in there.
Yeah, and I was a brat, so I had none of that.
No, you did the hard yards.
None of that
They
favoritism.
were like, she's late again. You know? Just woke up, Betty.
Session's almost over. Awesome.
Would you say, okay, so you've obviously made it to the Olympics. Would you say that your coaches, like they helped you get there? Definitely.
Well, yeah, of course.
Like did like everything they taught you you obviously you would pass that information on to other people, but do you think that they would have, like, I always question, say for instance you got a rugby game or something like that, and you sack the coach. The team's not performing, will sack the coach. You know, and do you like that?
I know what you mean. I was having this conversation the other day. Like, the importance of a coach in one sport compared to another is so different.
Yeah.
With an AFL team, there's so many players. For them to try and work out what they're doing without any sort of leader helping out is one thing. And then something like a tennis player, which is just on their own, to have a coach to tell them on technique.
It's more personal though, isn't it? You're probably going to get more of a relationship out of with those sort of sports. You know, AFL, they've got, you know, coaches for each section on the field.
Yeah.
Whereas you guys are probably just dealing with that one person.
Yeah, and I think also it's more important to have a coach where you get along with when it's more of an individual sport, because it's going to have direct impact. As opposed to a football team, you can't have one coach which everyone's going to love. It's going to be
but in a sport like gymnastics, you're so young. You just do what you're told.
Yeah,
that's where the discipline comes in.
As a child, you always...
But that's also what can cause problems later on. Sometimes, you know, the coach gets moved up as you do. So the coaches I had since I was young, and sometimes they never stop treating you like you are that 10-year-old.
Yeah.
So that's what can cause some real backlash. And
I hate getting treated like a 10-year-old when I'm 20. No, but I fully agree with that. Yeah. I hate being treated like a child. And I always found...
You need to be, though. You are. You definitely need to be.
When I started, if I start a job, say for instance, and you started it as an apprentice and then you moved up, until you leave and start somewhere fresh and you've already learnt that trade or that craft, and you start somewhere new, you get treated as, this guy knows what he's doing. He's not that apprenticeship, because they don't know you as the apprentice.
No.
But if all of a sudden you stayed with that company for the next 10 years, you will always be that apprentice.
Yeah.
You'll always
You're totally
be below.
right.
Yeah.
Until you're the big dogs.
Until I stand by that stuff. So exactly, if you're growing up, you're still going to be that little 10-year-old. You know?
It's very true. It's a good point you make. It's like, you know, if you don't set your own worth, someone else will set it for you. So if you rock up and you just kind of play whatever and do whatever they want you to do, you'll immediately put in that position for... And, you know, it's really hard to break out of that later on.
Yeah.
As you say, if you have a fresh start somewhere else, it's like, they don't know you, fresh start, let's go. And you kind of have to set your own worth and rock up.
Yeah, And so by the time I made it to the Olympic Games, to be honest, I was sick of it. I think I was training because it was my passion and my love for so many years. And I think in the last 2-3 years, I was training for the goal, not because I loved it anymore. And actually missed out on the world champ team 1 year before the games, because my habits were quite bad, and I'd gotten into a very lazy and complacent spot. I'd been number one on the bars for 4 or 5 years, and I'd
claim
it. I'm modest. I'm super modest.
The internet says it. It's true.
And it got to a point where I would go in and I'd do the bare minimum, and that was a huge wake up call for me.
Still get the results or not?
Huh?
When you do the bare minimum, would you see the difference? Sometimes I do the bare minimum, and somehow I do good. I'm like,
well, I'm
pretty much like my preparation for Survivor this year. I did nothing. I walked in like a fat boy, and somehow I'm like top four.
You lost so much.
Didn't eat food.
Yeah. Oh, I had a bad shoulder that one.
That's no excuse.
You lost so much weight. Actually, just quickly, how much weight did you lose? Because
I'd be both shows. It was about 14. So you get to the point now. You just it's about 14 kgs.
Cool.
I find it.
Have you got that back now?
Fuck yeah.
All in muscle,
That's
bro.
why I'm wearing dark shirt. I legit had a double quarter pounder last night.
You earned it, man.
Yeah, I earned it, exactly.
But after the Olympics, I was ready to be done, but I'd signed a full ride scholarship to Oregon State in America. And my intentions were just to get a free education and then join the real world. But I ended up going over there, and they're number one in the world in gymnastics. And just the way it became a team environment instead of an individual, because, our team on Australia was 6 individuals.
How different is
competition.
Training and competing and stuff in America compared to Australia?
It's next level. And I think also coming in as a collegiate level, you've got coaches that didn't coach you from you were, 10 years
Fresh
old
eyes.
as well.
Yeah.
And my coaches there actually cared more about who you were becoming as a person.
Oh, that's good.
And, oh, my God, just competing there, they saw it as training is the hard yards and training was my favourite time of the day.
Yeah.
And competition was not seen as this scary, nervous event. It was the celebration of your training. Let's show it off. Let's have fun. It became a party. And actually, I fell in love with gymnastics all over again, and then came back to Australia, and I felt I wasn't done. Like, I had this passion, and I asked to go compete at nationals, and they said, no, you're too old.
Oh, bullshit.
So I was 23 at that time.
Sounds like you've always been too old.
Yeah.
Starting at 8 years old.
This beard had fallen out now. It wasn't even grey. It's gone.
So you went home, had a shave, and then what happened?
But yeah, I'm pretty relentless. And I ended up competing at the nationals, and again won the bars and got invited back on. I did a Com Games and another World Championship, but again it was just I was treated like I was a 10-year-old.
Yep.
And that's
Like that sucks.
Yeah.
You know. Can I ask, was when you were competing at the Olympics and stuff, was Ninja Warrior around at that time?
no. Well, I mean, it originated in Japan. It was called Sasuke.
Okay.
But I didn't.
Because that's a fun. At least it turns it into fun. You know, like
It's a playground.
yeah, that's what I'm saying.
It's very different, totally different to
Changing
gymnastics. A lot of the body movement, but the energy around Ninja Warrior is like, we just go here to have fun, enjoy it. Unlike gymnastics is very much strict. There's an end goal of big championships, Olympics, whatever. The end goal for us obviously is the TV show and to win, to climb Mount Midoriyama.
Yeah.
But along the way, our training is very much just, we rock up to the gym, swing around on some bars, have a little bit of a chat, do some, and in the meantime, we're actually working out quite a lot.
Yeah.
And we just don't even realize because it's just kind of enjoying ourselves.
So you guys are normally training together?
On and off, yeah, it depends. We go through phases of loving and hating each other. But yeah, no, it's. I wasn't sure you were going to take your hand.
That's you again.
I just love this beer, man. Eagle Bay. Thank you, Eagle Bay. Shout out to Eagle Bay.
You just don't like to touch me.
Do you know that? No, do you know what's funny? It's like she did it like right when you're doing like a held D&M too. Like,
yeah.
She's like, I'm gonna stop that.
Cut me off. So I mean, how is it for you for gymnastics compared to Ninja Warrior? What are the biggest differences that you found?
It's definitely a very fun environment.
Yeah.
Again, for Ninja, it had been around. I didn't really know of it, to be honest. And I'd, gotten out of gymnastics, opened up my own business, happy just working away, and I got a call for season 1. And I still had no idea what it was. To me...
Because you got a cafe?
The Leaky Tap. Right. And they called me and they were like, oh, we want to put you on this show. We'll fly to Sydney. We'll put you up. Yeah. And that's all I heard. I have selective hearing. And in my brain, I was like,
trip to Sydney.
Sweet, free trip to Sydney.
Yeah.
And it didn't dawn on me. It didn't hit me until I was standing there looking at this course going, holy crap.
Yeah. Wearing all white, looking at that water going, better not fall in. And I'm going, she better fall in.
You didn't even know me.
I didn't even know her actually, season 1.
You slide on.
Lubing up the bars.
Rookie.
That's so funny, man. I love anyone that's gone from, training is such a stringent resume, like to sit there and just work, and then potentially go to Olympics and then don't achieve your goal or achieve it or whatever. But it's work. You've now found something that you love to do, and it's turning into something that like Australia loves to watch you do. You know, and that's the beautiful thing. Like I'm pretty good at like lying and stealing and all that type of stuff. And Australia's falling in love with it.
You've hit the jackpot. You've found the perfect role where all you have to do is sit there and talk shit and people love you for it. Imagine, and this is kind of the same. We're sitting down talking shit
exactly.
and just having a good time.
I would actually branch it out and turn it into
This
another.
is a smart business move for you.
It honestly is, man. You guys have done very well.
I could
Crow.
not do
Hey, I'm your sidekick. I've got to say that. Support, because I'm riding your coattails as well. I'm hoping you go big time so I
Making I get hit.
Hey.
Exactly like Survivor. I take all the hits and then you take the actual...
Maybe I got an immunity.
Maybe.
I'd be so bloody useless at Survivor.
You'd be surprised.
First of all, I'd starve to death. All right.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know.
Even if the food was in front of you. Where is it? Yeah, no. Well, we cook the rice, So
is there like like an unlimited amount of rice.
No, not at all. Rations.
See, I would steal people's food and get voted off so fast.
See. You would want to purposely get voted off so you can go and get a double
what I actually
pounder.
did. I stole the food and made a nighttime rice, and then it didn't show, but there was like 2 days or a day and a half where no rice.
What?
Oh no, I was just wondering whether you were talking
Hey,
to
what's
the
up?
microphone or I was trying to do how subtle.
Well, Ben, I thought your microphone wasn't working because you gotta get it right up into it.
Yeah,
Get right
Yeah.
up in there.
Yeah, pretend like it's.
yeah, I'm acting like you've got a problem.
All right. I'm afraid of this microphone.
The closer you get, the better.
Oh, there it is. There.
Oh, it's my sexy voice.
Deeper the throat.
Okay. Oh,
One's talking about the deep fried over here.
no wonder she's so good. I mean, what?
Hey!
Oh, I'll have that one.
Hey! See, something like that will make him put his hand on me.
Yeah.
Naturally.
Yeah, you got to do it. All right, here we go. Another question.
All right.
We've only asked one. Actually, this is a good one. How do you guys
More than
meet?
one.
How did we meet?
Yeah. So wait,
yeah.
let me guess. You were at the Buggy Bars.
The what?
He skipped a bar and he caught your eye, didn't he?
Did he just skip a bar?
That's how I used to try and pick up chicks at
As
school.
long
I
as-
skip 2 bars.
He skipped 2.
Or never picked up because I always landed flat on my back. No good.
They're super impressed too.
Yeah.
Yeah. So for us, it was I didn't actually know Olivia season 1 of Ninja Warrior.
Yeah.
Really, like I knew of her.
Yeah.
But I wasn't there for the filming or anything like that. And I watched the TV show when it came out and was like, oh, there's that redheaded girl. I've seen her around the gym before, and I think we're in a group chat together. But that was about it.
You did not wait till we
This is
watched
how
the
every
show.
couple story goes.
Yeah, that's exactly.
Go on,
After-
I'm in trouble already.
After season 1 and I failed the wall, that's when I looked up the Ninja Academy,
Okay.
which would have been helpful.
Do your
But
research.
anyway, I wanted to get this wall. Like
Yeah.
failing that fueled me so hard,
Yeah.
and ended up going to the Ninja Academy, which Ben had been training at for a little while already. Knew that Ben was on
Impressive.
season 1
Impressed?
because we did have a group chat, but
Wore
I
a tighter shirt to make him look bigger.
You're looking good, bro.
Thanks.
What does that look?
nothing.
Disappointment.
Just get back to the academy. But then we met training at the gym, but it was sort of just that awkward, like, hey Liv, hey Ben, and nothing more. Ben had a girlfriend at the time, and I didn't want to date someone from the gym. Why would you want to shit where you eat?
Yeah, that's good.
Well, you ended up shit where you ate.
That's exactly what you did.
Now I'm spooning shit.
I'm legit gorging on shit.
Just realizing I'm the shit within this
Yeah,
story.
I was
laughing like, that's hilarious.
I was about to say.
But so we'd known of each other, and it was just like,
So the awkward wave,
Yeah,
just
yeah.
going,
He gave
you would have
very-
been probably giving him the guns, I guess. Like, as you walk by.
And she was always like, oh, hi. I was like, who are you? Why do you always follow me home? The girl outside my window?
he gave the most awkward hugs. He doesn't remember this, but
No,
it'd
apparently
be
not.
like a
I'm going to get
side
one
hug.
after this.
Oh, yeah, we'll
Side
practice.
hug.
I'll show you how to
hug.
do the ultimate hug.
Yeah,
so
the
no
ultimate
girl ever.
awkward
The ultimate awkward hug.
You do not touch. You keep about that far off
Hover,
the body.
those hover
Yeah.
hands.
Yeah, inappropriately placed hands are the
Yeah,
key.
that's right. That's right.
Yeah, but eventually after season 1 did air, and that's where he was like, oh, this girl wears white. All right.
Oh,
No.
it's my style.
Nah, months after, we actually created a group called the Ninja Titans to try and help new people get into ninja, what techniques are helpful, and training tips and so and so. And we had this group of 4, and we're having weekly meetings, which would normally go no more than an hour, just jotting down all these ideas and stuff like that. And Ben's very good at video and editing, and that's
So is
his
Brian.
jam.
Yeah, I watch your
Yeah.
Instas and stuff, and they're amazing.
Yeah, he's very...
Like you
Thank
do,
you.
do some. Pretty
Yeah, it's good fun doing
impressive-
that.
and it just grows your audience. Like,
Yeah.
It does.
yeah.
I mean, there's like a little bit of extra effort to make one video turn into something
I
amazing.
understand. But you put that in, and it shows. Like people do love them. I love them. You know what I mean? Yeah,
Yeah, it's good fun. I mean, like when you're doing something which is so like,
you
physical, moving around, really dynamic. I mean,
Yeah.
add a couple cool transitions in, and Bob's your uncle. People are going crazy for it.
Yeah,
so.
no, they are. I actually love watching your videos because you're always like doing everywhere.
weird too.
Yeah, it's
Yeah, so
weird, but it's
weird.
fun.
Exactly.
That's the beauty
You
of
guys
it,
get
man.
it. You
Yeah,
got a pink shirt
trust
on.
me, I'm a consumer. You know what I
good.
mean? I like consuming good stuff.
You're also weird.
Yeah. So like, yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, we were having this weekly meetings, and then one week, 2 of the other members couldn't show up, and we decided, no, we'll still do
secretly
this.
plan this, by the way. Sorry, the boys can't turn up today. I was like, boys cancels, meetings cancelled.
They didn't just weirdly show up.
Yeah. And then this meeting that's normally for 1 hour.
Hook up. Operation hook up into place. And he said, sorry guys, it's cancelled.
But this meeting that's supposed to be an hour ended up going for 5-6 hours, and we didn't get one line of work done.
You're just trapped in a room together. That's all it took.
Yeah.
We're honestly just trapped in a room together.
6-hour meeting.
Yeah, pretty much. No, it was a strange one because you think you know someone until you sit in a room for them.
Yeah.
Well, and it's just you two, and you kind of, in a way, kind of just forced to really get to know each other properly, sort of that surface level. And that's all it took. It's just kind of a conversation here and there. And I was like, as soon as I saw her eating chocolate and then just dropping chocolate on the carpet and then just like eating, sorry, use the
Good
mic.
move.
And then eating, chocolate off the ground.
At the cafe, I was given this sprinkle-covered heart by a customer. It was super sweet.
Yeah.
And it felt solid, felt full, rock solid. And I was going to give it to my mum or just make someone else's day. Yeah. And, of course, after a few hours, I'm hungry. And so I looked at the thing and I was like, all right, the deal is if I can crush this with my hand, thinking it's rock solid and it wouldn't do it,
you can eat it.
I'm going to eat it.
Yeah.
There's no way you weren't breaking that.
It broke and sprinkles went
everywhere.
And then, of course, we finished the chocolate, and then as the meeting's going on, I just started picking sprinkles out of the carpet.
Human vacuum cleaner.
I've got no problem with eating off the floor.
No.
I think you do good in survival.
No, but and then
That's what I'm saying.
finding ants, and you're like,
ants. We're like, we have rice.
Yeah.
You're like, nah, ants.
protein,
Yeah,
bro. Protein.
Well, yeah, it's
It just took 4 hours into it and realizing I'm doing this in front of.
It's just like it was a level of comfortability. Is that a word? I'm
Were
making
you
it up.
comfortable with it?
Yeah, I was like, this is awesome. The fact that she's just chilling out, and it wasn't just. It was a whole number of things, and I was like, this is actually pretty cool to feel like just chill and stuff, and then it just from then on, we're like, oh, let's hang out, let's have a chat.
Ben's
here
like,
and there.
oh, it's cool to just be around each other. Like, now just like, are we there already?
It's funny. It's like that for me. That's a conversation amongst my mates. Is the question of like, how long do you wait before you drop the first fart when you're seeing someone? Because to me, like, if you can drop it day one, she's the one.
Well, you're best to get it all out of the way early. Now,
I think
I
it
met
is.
my missus. I was friends with her friends from over east, and she come to visit them. Now, the first day I met her, it was like 45 degrees. I'm watching the cricket in my jocks, and like it was so
That's
hot.
dangerous.
It was like I was so sweaty, like they were rolling up and everything. Michael Clark was on like 49 or something. He was about to notch up a half ton or whatever, and she rolls in.
Extra sweaty because of that.
Yeah.
Extra sweat.
So she saw me at my worst or / my best on day
Yeah,
one. And,
it depends on how you
that
see
was
it.
9 years ago. So
Well done.
Get it out of the way.
Yeah, I think so too. If you leave it, I just feel sorry for all the couples out there which are 10 years in, still haven't dropped the fart and just like walking around with sore stomachs 24/7 going.
How much food's in that person?
Yeah, I hate to be those people.
This man right here.
Yeah, they're the worst.
No,
Feel your
Ben has.
pain. I can see it in your eyes, Luke.
I've actually got a stomach ache right now.
See, personally, like it just works. Ben has a secret talent. He can fart almost on cue. And they just don't. And
Watch
they
your
don't
words
smell.
there.
They don't
Yeah,
smell.
thank you.
And
Only
I
like
find
roses.
I'm
farts.
total opposite.
Oh,
Like
stay
I
away.
can't control it, and they stink.
That's odd though, because you'd be putting a bit of protein through
Oh
the,
yeah,
through the
yeah,
system,
which is
wouldn't you?
it's surprising, you
So
know.
no smell.
I think actually with the hot sauces I've been having recently, we were talking about this
Oh, yeah,
earlier.
the hot sauces,
Those
yeah.
hot sauces, man.
it's coming out too
I
quick
mean,
to
yeah,
smell.
I know when they're coming out because they burn.
Now we're talking about hot sauce. Have you tried shit the bed hot sauce?
Of course,
Yeah,
That's
what do you
nothing.
reckon? She's
That's-
pretty hot, eh?
she's hot,
Yeah.
but
I
if we're
like-
talking, I've looked into this
What is
stuff,
that?
you know.
It's a shit
Not
now.
hot compared to
Look,
what you
it's
like.
it's hot, but
My hair
so
would
we're
turn
talking.
the same colours as Olivia.
So we're,
I like go red.
So we're talking the different levels that they measured on. It's called a Scoville.
Okay.
Right. So Tabasco, for instance, is like 3,500.
Okay.
And then shit the bed is about 40,000.
Oh yeah.
And I tried one recently, which was 120,000. Which was
How'd you handle it?
super hot. It was I got about a quarter or half
And then
a
you shit the bed.
teaspoon, and then I shit the bed. No, and then, whacked it.
You're
And
like,
it
they
was
should rename this.
That's when you know you're comfortable with your business.
what I've literally.
You can shit the bed
Shit
and
is-
still be with each other.
Do you still love me?
She's picking food off the ground. He's shitting the bed.
In the meantime, so yeah, I'm trying to. My goal is to hit 1 million Scovilles, which is just like right up there. So
it goes up there.
it goes up there.
Are
So
you just like dipping your finger in it and putting it on
no,
your
so
tongue?
I get like
you
a
might
little
regret that.
a teaspoon or like half a teaspoon.
Because
I
then you
regret it the
maybe
next
can't
day.
no, but you can't. It might actually screw your whole system up that you actually can't taste food afterwards.
Well, I
Imagine that.
considered that.
Do it when you're about to
Imagine
die.
you're like, yeah, I did it, and then next
Yeah,
week you
yeah.
went and ate the next food after that, and then everything tastes the same.
Yeah, it definitely
Like hot
tastes.
sauce.
I taste nothing for maybe it's only like 20 minutes, and then I'm good. But they go up to 2.5 million.
Oh, damn.
So
I didn't know
Tabasco
that.
3,500, and then
Tough
it's
as
like,
hell.
look,
taking-
shit the bed
Why?
is
What do
it's
you
a
have?
hot it's a
Yeah.
hot one, but I'm going for that bucket list
Yeah.
1 million Scoville.
Damn.
So we'll
you
see.
could
what
go
else.
for that straight up, but
Well,
you
yeah.
regret it. You
I would
would because you
regret
haven't
it.
moved up.
But
It'd
that's
be
a-
like me doing Ninja Warrior.
Sure,
It's just going for
You
it.
hate it at
straight
the
off
time,
bat,
but later
no
on.
training, no nothing. And
Uh-huh.
I'll do the head and exactly like the
Yeah.
You're gonna have to run the Homer Simpson technique with the candle wax on your tongue.
Yeah, exactly. Just numb my tongue before and then go with the hot sauce.
Yeah.
Whatever works. As long
What a
as I can
cheat,
say
man.
I've done 1 million Scovilles, that's the goal. I should have brought some. I was going to bring some.
Yeah.
That's all right. Next
You can put
time.
on the
I'm glad he didn't because it meant
Yeah,
I would have had to try
How
it.
are you
I
guys
am
with spicy food?
I'm-
I
yeah.
love spicy food.
I don't mind it. I like just heat to it, a little bit of
Sure.
heat. It like just brings out a bit of flavour.
I don't know why people like spicy food. It makes no sense
Yeah.
to me. Like it hurts like
Yeah,
hell, and I'm
hurts,
like,
yeah.
oh, this hurts.
Oh, so you don't like the hot sauce that you're trying?
No, I enjoy it,
Yeah.
but I don't know why I enjoy the pain of the spiciness.
no, that's
like
fair.
it doesn't make any
Yeah,
sense.
true.
See,
Sadistic in some
my
sort of
favorite
weird
hot
way.
sauce is mild,
Okay.
and it's Frank's hot sauce. Now,
Oh,
when
yeah,
it
yeah,
comes
that's
to
a
hot
good one.
sauce, it's all about flavour for me.
It is.
So
It's got to taste good. It
Benny's
can't just be
a bit
painful.
of a well, you can take it from here with your meat.
I'm a very good-looking
Man,
pink flamingo shirt wearing barbecuer.
awesome.
He's a barbecuer.
I do. I love all the American.
I thought you would have picked it. You can see him over barbecue with some tongs in
Oh,
his.
totally. Yeah.
Yeah.
Give him some tongues. He's ready.
Yeah, yeah. No, I like the American low and slow sort of stuff. So I've been teaching myself how to do that off YouTube and come up with some results of late. So we're pretty happy with that.
Do you
But
have a smoker?
I've got a Weber kettle. I don't have the big.
the Weber.
Yeah, I'm old school. It's all beat up too, so it looks hell gangster. You know, like
Nice.
people come around, I haven't mowed my lawns, like there's washing everywhere. Come in,
Nice.
come and
Yeah.
get a good feed if you can deal with what the house looks like. But
Of
yeah,
course.
that's what I'm into.
How long you been doing that for?
Probably, I don't know, maybe 2 or 3, 4 years. A
Is
while.
there a knack to that kind of stuff? I imagine there is.
Oh,
I mean, it's
there-
not like rock up and do it.
There is. It took a bit of learn. I'm one of those guys. I have to research everything before I do it.
Yeah.
Like one of those little wind-up cars. I would have to actually research how to twist the thing up to load the engine
Sure,
up and
okay.
send it across. But
I'm
yeah,
not
so
like that.
about 4 years of the barbecuing has
Wow.
been 3 years of learning about it.
Damn.
And,
Sure.
yeah.
The classic analysis paralysis.
Yeah,
where
yeah.
you're like
I'm a
research,
do, then learn.
research, do nothing.
Or learn by doing.
I do get some good results, but I fuck it up sometimes too. And my mate, who always comes around on the fucked up time, is like, "Great, another dry brisket from Benny." So that keeps me motivated.
Just call
you
it
know?
beef jerky if it's that dry. Oh, no, it's
That's
be
it,
dry.
yeah. You know, so you got your goals, you know, with the ninja stuff and everything. I'm just trying to impress my mate around the corner.
You can do the
Sure,
wall.
that's the
You don't-
pinnacle.
you
Yeah,
can
yeah,
do the
yeah.
wall, but then all of a sudden he could make a good brisket. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Next thing you
Same
know, you're going to be
story.
backflipping
Maybe
up briskets.
maybe I'll be waiting at the top of the wall with a good brisket.
Yeah, yeah.
That will get
I
me
like
up the
it.
wall, don't worry.
That'll get you on the
Yeah.
show. A story like that. If you want to get a Ninja
just
Warrior, they
release-
love
Oh
that
yeah,
stuff.
like our story, like down on his luck, could never cook a good brisket.
See, you'd be surprised. You'd honestly be surprised. Like some of the
Yeah.
Oh,
stories.
you'd be a
they-
contender
they
on
use.
Survivor, sure.
Honestly, the first time I ever got the warp wall, because it took me like 4 to 6 months to get up there and hold it.
Yeah.
And I remember the week that I won it, I was so close.
Yeah.
Like, I was touching the top, I just couldn't
Yeah.
hold on. I put a packet of Tim Tams up the top.
Oh, motivation.
I did, right? And that day, I failed.
That's the packet.
I
You mean I
I
laid
failed.
at the top of the wall naked? Come and get me. You're
And I
like,
finally got it.
And then I
Get that
left
man.
the
That's a
gym.
double
I
wall.
don't
I
get that
don't know if you
tip
can
down.
handle it.
No, but I left it up there. I came back a couple of days later. They're still there.
How melted, eh? Like, oh, my motivation's
It's
melting.
a straight up open packet too. Like people would start eating them. But I got up there. I held the top. I
So
grabbed up.
the old Tim Tams was still the motivation.
Yeah, still, yeah.
Well done.
Good.
Well done. Whatever works.
That's
Whatever
good.
works.
Yeah.
Yeah, whatever you can get.
Yeah.
Oh,
is that me?
20 minutes later.
How long was that? Was that for that long?
Oh, no,
Yeah.
I'm going to have
Holy
a
shit,
delicious
what's
Eagle
that?
Bay
Yeah.
beer.
I'm not.
Yeah, good work. What is Do you have any? What was I can't remember.
I had some questions about injuries
Yeah, sure.
because there's been some...
Ninjuries, actually.
They're
Ninjuries.
now.
is that-
Welcome to
that's
the
a cool
world
one.
of
I never heard that
ninja.
one. That's pretty cool.
Oh, you really like it?
Yeah,
I love that.
like
Adding one letter to another word.
Now I
Ninjas.
remember what I
Injuries.
had when I was doing the monkey bars. I had an injury.
An injury.
You know what I mean?
Exactly
That's
what it
why
is.
I came up on the first one.
God, that's
Your
why.
injury is just you and not fit enough.
Yeah, being unfit is not
Guts
an
is an
injury. It's
injury.
just being unfit.
that fat waistline is an injury.
Man, we celebrated so hard when you won immunity.
Oh,
when you
did
won
ya?
a
Oh, man,
challenge,
I
we were
was-
like,
You've been crushing it.
You don't understand how emotional that was for me to win that one because, as I said, it was like two seasons.
Yep.
Never won. I win one, and it was like, yeah, it was.
it's
yeah.
like
It
you
started
won.
that
I
train
was
as
so-
well.
How many of you
yeah.
won?
Yeah.
Well, that's it. Like I
I
was
mean,
just one of
watching.
those trains. You just had to get started. You know what I mean? 4.
Four.
You've won
Yeah,
4.
I won
Wow.
4.
Wow.
Up till
Just
now.
saying, yeah.
No, that's
Just
awesome.
saying.
I feel like it's one of those things where if you keep failing at it, you go, maybe I can't win them. And you kind of
Or
doubt yourself. And
He
then you win
keeps
one and you're like,
failing
I
him,
can do
then
it.
the producers are like, we need to come up
We
with
need to
one just
Give him an easy one.
As a video producer's pushing you over.
Yeah.
Hurry up.
Yeah, you
Just
see
in
some
that
guy with a
green-
rubber glove on my ass.
Just in these green
And then
suits.
they tell the other ones, you're bound by contract.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, there's no help.
But injuries, there was some
Makes
big
you
injuries in the
Yeah.
in the history here.
Yeah, so you've had a fair few going
Haven't done it
through
yet.
with gymnastics
I've
especially.
done
and-
most of
how
mine
long-
in
so
gymnastics.
run through them quickly. Oh!
Hey.
Oh, you got me again. I got to drink a
I was
delicious
like,
beer
I don't
again.
know. I was like, I don't know how long I want to do this.
No,
for.
seriously.
We should notice it and just not do anything.
I
for half an
noticed
hour.
because I was selfishly wanting to speak, and then you weren't even.
Oh, we
listening.
did. Yeah.
Shut up.
As we
Someone's going
progress,
on
as we progress with these podcasts, that's what we've got to get good at. You know, like we can't ask questions and just be super funny the way we are. You know, we've got to let him say something.
Yeah, we're like, come on our podcast so we can talk to you.
talk at you.
We're still doing it.
you
We haven't
just-
spoken for 10 minutes.
Well, that was a great one, guys.
Yeah,
Cheers.
thanks for having us. We'd love to come
And we'll
back.
edit them out of the video bit. Anyway, I want to hear about the injuries because I'm not interested in them like I like them, but like I did do a bit of
No, it's
reading
part
about
of the
them.
it's part of
If
the
you
game.
like him, I've got some gnarly ones.
Because I know you've got
Yeah.
some pretty significant. Did you break your back?
Yep.
Yeah.
Did ya?
Yep.
That's right up there.
Oh,
Isn't it?
did ya?
Yep.
Yep.
Oh, yeah. Well, how did that happen?
In
Let her
gym-
talk. She tell you.
Stop feeling each other. And I'll
Anyway, next
tell ya.
question. What's that?
As soon as she gets halfway to it, with her hand on the- they've had too much time.
In gymnastics, the way like a skill gets named
Yeah.
is you have to be the first person in the world to compete at a World Champs, World Cup, Olympic event sort of thing. So we were actually coming up with a move and came up with a move to be called the Vivian.
Oh, nice.
There's a reason no one had done it before. So it's a move on the bar, and it entails like folding your body in half, flipping it out, turning it half turn, land on the low bar. And it's quite a strenuous move on your back, and I ended up getting it. I was in America at the time at a training camp, and I specifically remember getting it, super excited, and then everyone wanted to see it, and I just did one. And
Oh, you did it in front of everyone?
Yeah, of course.
You broke your back in front of everyone?
But it was just at this point, it's just like a ooh, that didn't feel right, and everything. It wasn't a major break. Like I'm
Yeah.
folded in half, like
Yeah.
as you would vision it.
Hairline fracture, it's
Yeah.
a break. Trust me. Yeah, it's still.
It's,
yeah.
but it was just
Next morning, you wouldn't have been
something
able to
just didn't
move
feel
or what.
good. And then that night, we actually flew back to Australia, and it was the 28 hours and the
Whoa.
high pressure that
Yeah.
that
Oh,
did it,
wow.
that blew it.
So what exactly happened with what was the injury?
Yeah, it was 2 fractures in my back and a torn disc.
Jeez.
It was
shit.
it was pretty
That's
brutal.
damage.
It was laying on a couch getting
Yeah.
addicted to TV series. That's what that
You
was.
can make a movie about
Rest of
Laying
my
on
it.
couch.
Yeah, Paramount. If you
Well,
listen.
it's funny,
They're
you
watching.
know. They say just rest, recover. They actually wanted to inject it and ask if I wanted to still compete at the World Champs, and I was like, I'm
That's
not.
crazy.
Look, shoulder, foot, ankle, knee, whatever.
Yep.
You're not messing with my back.
Yeah.
That's something else. Like,
Yeah.
there's your spinal cord
Yeah,
right
yeah,
there.
yeah.
So I remember laying down for almost 2 months and then feeling shooting pain down my leg after resting.
Oh,
and I was
really?
like, what is going on? I'm doing nothing but watching TV.
Yeah. And it's getting worse.
Why
yeah.
am I getting worse? And it ended up the callus that was forming in my back to try and heal the fractures was pressing on my nerves. And so they wanted to get a surgeon and, you know, screw it back and get away the callus, the extra callus and all.
So when
Anyway.
you're, I got to ask, when you're laying on the couch watching TV,
Yeah.
did you go to the old school daytime television round where you hit Dr. Phil early?
Oh, Dr.
You go
Phil.
to Oprah straight up, and then
It's
later
all
on for a
about
little
Ellen.
treat
What
when
are
you
you
go get
talking
your milk
about?
and cookies for afternoon tea, you hit Ready Steady Cook. Now it's
This man knows his
Oh,
midday
remember
TV
the
took a
show.
lot of days off school for that lineup.
Yeah.
Took a lot.
Taking me back to that didgeridoo.
Yeah, I always tell Mum I'm sick, but I just had to catch up.
Dr. Phil. Dr. Phil.
No, I had very good friends who brought over their hard drives.
Yeah.
Yeah. But
Shit, I should have probably looked into some friends, maybe, wouldn't I?
Yeah, that's why I didn't bring nothing over you.
you had nothing.
Yeah, just talk to Phil Buzz.
But yeah, I ended
So
up.
then you came good?
They
Or what? How
they
did it
booked
just-
this surgery in,
Yeah.
and for me, I'm just like, well, stuff it. I'm gonna do some stuff. I'm gonna move because I'm sick of sitting
So that
still.
helped.
Yeah,
think?
moving actually
Moving.
broke away the callus, and for the first time in almost 7 years, I wasn't on any painkillers.
Wow.
Like
Yep.
the pain just went away, and I cancelled the surgery. And it's not a story that
you.
I would recommend.
Yeah.
No,
No.
Don't
You know,
advise
like-
the people just keep
Yeah.
training and push through
Oh,
it.
you
Yeah,
broke your
yeah.
back. Just keep
Yeah.
moving.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's very
Yeah,
individualized.
it's like after you get in a car crash and you've got a sore neck, you should always do this just to make sure that you haven't broken anything.
Just make sure you got that rotation.
You know the one rule they're like, don't move your neck.
But I saw Olivia's video.
when you
she
can't
told me to do
feel,
Olivia was doing this.
when you hurt yourself and can't feel your legs, get up.
Yeah. Make sure you're moving.
Yeah, like we'll give him the Rocky speech.
Yeah.
You need to keep moving forward. It's not about how
Inspirational
hard,
music.
how bad you break your back.
It's about how well you can move it.
how much you move it after.
Yeah. What about you, Ben? What sort of injuries you had? And also, is
it's
there
hard
any
to
moves called the Ben?
no moves called the band,
Damn it.
unfortunately.
I'm gonna
I
make
know.
one up.
It's hard to follow. I appreciate it.
You
thanks.
make a super easy one up. Like,
Yeah,
you know
I
what
know.
mean?
Like a step up.
Yeah, like
I'll think
Yeah.
of one.
all you do is this. Also, like, before you jump.
Yeah, do it with a bit of steez though. You know,
There's
like,
the bed move. You know?
Yeah, look, no major injuries. I mean, it's hard to follow a broken back up.
I love that word.
The only ones, I mean, I had shoulder surgery end of last year, which was very much an injury from just too much swinging around in my arms, not enough recovery.
Yeah.
So that was just kind of scraping off the end of my bone and fixing that up.
Just.
My bone was too long. It's not usually a problem, but in this case it was. But yes, I had to scrape the end of my bone off and just kind of rest and recovery, nothing major. And it's just more, you know, it's just full of niggles, and I'm sure you guys get this as well. Everyone gets it. Like you wake up one morning, you're like, "Oh, I've got like my chest is tight," and then like 2 hours later, you forget about it, and then the next day you're like, "Oh, my arm, or this or that." And
I had a
it's
niggle
just-
this morning. I was trying to get some sleep, and old mate ringing me about this podcast. Eh? It was like 10:45.
That is a
He's
niggle
ringing
right
you
there.
and
It's
he's
a big
like,
niggle.
dude, no one's asking them questions.
I come off
We
night
shouldn't
shift.
even do this.
Yeah.
These people.
I finished night shift at 6 o'clock this morning. He's messaging me like, "Oh, what time you come down?"
Yeah.
I may not
Go
make an
down.
appearance.
Glad you're here. Glad
Good.
you're here.
So am I.
Yeah, it's good. It's I got one question. So the warp wall, there would have been some bloopers from that warp wall. People running up there and then not getting out and falling backwards and hitting the back of the head.
Yeah, look, you'd be.
that'd be me. I
Of
think.
course, yeah. Look,
That'd be
that's
me.
plenty of people, and I think it happens fairly often in gyms. You know, when people are practicing.
Yeah.
Generally, when you get to the show, you've probably done a warp wall a couple
So,
times.
yeah.
In saying that, you definitely see people fall over,
Yeah.
and it never looks. It's not like that was hilarious. It's
Yeah,
usually
it's
like,
like,
oh
ooh,
wow.
Yeah.
So I've seen
the
broken
back of the head.
ankles and stuff.
Yeah.
Not so much whacking their head. I know it's
Yeah.
happened before. I've
Okay,
never
yeah.
seen it, and I don't
Yeah.
think I want to see it.
Yeah, 'cause that'd be a
but
ripper.
it you know, generally it's a pretty safe sport until you get to something like that. There's no
Yeah.
water underneath.
Yeah.
And we've seen people come off the side of the course before, which is super dangerous because it goes from water to soft padding to then just straight concrete.
Yeah.
And if you miss the padding, you're onto the concrete, which is never nice, you
wanna
coming
stay
off
away
like
from
2.5, 3 meters
I
high
love
as
the
well.
stacks.
So
They're my favourite bit.
Have you ever measured like how strong your grip is? Because I believe that your grips and your forearms and stuff, like that's where your main torque is to hold your.
You
own
know
body
how
weight,
we
surely.
measure?
Yeah, how do you measure?
hang on a second.
Ben's like, you're up to 9,000.
I'm just gonna drink.
Ben's like, you're up to 9,000 right now.
Actually, one of the things
Talking about calluses.
one of the things we bonded over actually is the spinning bar challenge at the Royal Show. They have these
seen
spinning bars there, and it's actually it looks super easy, and it just says
It's just a bar like any other bar. You
just
look
looks
and
like
go,
a
just
bar.
hang off this for
hang off for 120 seconds, and you win $50.
I've seen them on the YouTube. And in
Yeah.
America,
Yeah.
they do them and stuff like
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
And
Yeah.
so did you do that?
Well, it's totally
Is it
rigged.
hard?
So we found out the first year that it's a bar with a bar over it. So the bar just
It's got like a ball bearing,
moving.
so
Oh.
it spins on you,
Oh,
which
yeah,
it makes it
So it's
10 times
super hard
harder.
on
It's
the wrist.
ridiculous.
Yeah, yeah.
So we actually started.
So-
our mission was to beat this bar at the Royal Show. So
Oh.
Ben actually built one, put it up
Yeah.
in the academy, and that's how we trained our grip strength.
Oh, wow.
It's brutal.
Yeah.
That's
Super
all you do.
difficult.
Just like the more you do it, the more.
Oh yeah.
Grippy, yeah,
it'll-
you
I mean,
Yeah.
there's
You
new.
got-
I do other personal grip strength training late at night.
Have you got one of those little things?
We won't talk about that.
You go.
That's how I get to the grand final.
You do obviously, you go above and beyond than the other regular Ninja Warrior by putting all
Yeah.
that hard
Of
work in
course,
at
yeah. I mean,
nighttime,
I'm
you know what I
training
mean?
every night. Like with the end goal in mind. I'm just visualizing Mount Midoriyama and just training.
That's why that end's bigger than that one, huh?
Yeah. That's why I always hang off my right.
Yeah.
My left and gash within 10 seconds.
It gasses with it.
yeah.
Holy shit.
So
Yeah.
look, grip strength is obviously. I mean, everyone looks at the show and they go, "You're hanging forever." So it's obviously a crucial part, and we do try and spend plenty of time training it. But to be honest, it gets to the point where you hit a certain level where you're like, my grip strength is good enough, and now it just comes down to things like body awareness. And we have a lot of guys come into the gym, at the Ninja Academy here in Perth, which is the gym we train at and we learn everything. Where people come in, they're super, super strong, but they rely all on their strength. And you can go through one obstacle and just muscle your way through and have terrible technique. And by the time you finish that one obstacle, you're absolutely cooked.
Yeah.
And you might celebrate, go, woo, I finished it. But then, in reality, you've got 7 other obstacles to complete on the show. So it's more about actually becoming strong and then learning how to use as little energy as possible while you're on the obstacle. And that comes down to body awareness.
So is the fitness side of it separate to the ninja side of it? Like, do you go to the gym and do the regular gym stuff and
Yeah,
then do the
honestly,
ninja training?
that's most of my training. Like
Controlling your breathing.
For
while
me,
you're-
Totally.
I
yeah.
have to.
Getting
I
fit,
prefer a
yes.
group training because I need others to push me.
Yeah.
I'm really struggle if I
need
go
a
in by
coach,
myself, and I'm an emotional person. So
Yeah.
if I'm tired, I won't do.
Yeah.
So I do a lot of F45 actually
Oh,
at the
yeah.
Subi studio,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
then I do LA Fit's like a Pilates reformer group
Yep.
class.
Oh,
So it's not your
Yeah.
physio one-on-one Pilates. That's
Yeah.
boring
Yeah.
as well. So yeah, for me, I rely on a lot of other training actually.
Just the fundamentals. I mean, we break it down to like strength, body awareness, mindset is actually probably, we would say 60 or 70% of Ninja Warrior and
Massive.
almost most sports.
Yeah, I
I
believe-
think people realize that like for doing a show or being able to inspire anyone in any sort of way, and then actually doing that, like the return you get is just tenfold.
Huge.
And
Yeah.
especially, and even with different mediums such as, you get a message, that's nice, but that's 99% of people. You get a voice message, all of a sudden for us, we're like, oh,
Yeah,
like,
what
hang on a
press play on
second.
that.
And then a
Next
video.
one, the voice messages are going to be going through the roof after this.
Yeah,
eh?
hopefully.
So you're
Oh,
going to hear
Ben's
this
a
one
big
like,
fan, yeah.
you're like,
I don't know what to say. I'm freaking out.
I'm
It'll,
like
it'll be from me.
Ben's like a big fan, and he's very good at it.
Yeah.
He's really good at it, and he's gotten me onto it. And I'm a bit more uncomfortable with it. I'm not used to. It's just new to me, right? It's
Yeah.
just new. And so I started trying, right? And I'd be sending a message to a little girl, little
Yeah.
kid, maybe
Yeah.
6 years old.
yeah.
Hey Jessica, thank you so much for watching the show.
Yeah.
And then you hear this guy, penis!
In the background. I'm waiting till she's almost
I'm like,
finished,
yes,
and then I yell out.
You've just nailed it. You've just nailed that voice. You're like, oh, sweet, I can finally press send
It
on
never
this.
gets old though.
No.
The dick jokes never get old.
But this will be like an Instagram one where it sends immediately. And I'm like,
Oh, whoops.
Yeah.
unsend. Oh, God.
You won't be watching that show anymore.
Oh, God.
So if you get a message out there,
Yeah.
you know,
It's me the whole time.
Oh,
Maybe
dear.
we can do some personal messages from the podcast at some point.
Do
Totally.
it. Honestly,
Yeah.
guys. So I ask
Yeah,
people that watch the podcast to send in maybe a voice message question.
Yeah.
I find those
Yeah,
when I listen to
super
what
easy,
podcasts, I find that so
Yeah.
interesting when
Yeah.
someone's like, "Hey, it's Rachel here. I want to know this." Blah, blah,
Yeah,
blah."
yeah, yeah.
I'm like, "Cool. That's way more personal.
so
way
much,
more
'Cause
personal
you hear
than
the
just
voice, so
yeah."
yeah, I know what you mean.
You get a little bit more
Because-
understanding to the tone.
Well, exactly. You have to. It's sometimes a lot to look through, and you need to try to work out. Because I don't.
Some people will get
you
a
sometimes
total
just-
personal response, the video, the voice, everything, and some people just get a good old.
Maybe you guys can send me some personal messages. Like I'm not at the, I'm not well known.
We'll flag
So
you.
maybe
and
if
then
you
see
guys
what
just
it says.
send-
I find it's time
Send
management.
me some personal
It
messages.
is.
I don't have time management. Like I do, but it's like I also have kids. I also run a business.
Yes.
I'm doing the podcast. I'm
Yeah.
obviously on Survivor, and it's like as soon as I say and start engaging a conversation, it engages it. If I say
That's the
thanks for that,
difference.
that's great. Then it's like, hey, ask another question. It's like,
That's the
man,
difference.
I don't have time
No.
to
Yeah.
engage in a full conversation because there is hundreds
Yeah.
of them, and if
Yeah.
you start engaging with everyone,
It
that's when you're
snowballs.
like. And the first
Yeah.
season I did it, I actually was super proactive, but this time I just don't have time. I got kids.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, I got so much going on, and this is a project that has really been taken a lot out of time wise.
And you've
This is
been
not
doing
easy
all the
to
work
set
as
up.
well.
Nah, yeah. So yeah, and then
Yeah, I know.
Ben's says hard work was
This is my first day.
Looking suave is just a full time job.
Yeah.
But,
I said to the missus, I can't clean the house today. I gotta go. I'm under the pump. I've been laying in bed all
We
morning.
just sit down and drink beers.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I got so one of the other things is I'm probably going to put into every episode is just a roast. Because I know everyone loves a good roast.
Yeah, everyone does love a good roast.
So I've actually got these are ones sent in. Greg reckons when I did
You
his-
made these. You wrote these
Yeah,
over
that's
there
what
before.
he said. He goes, you did it. Oh, there's one that just come in the last second
Sent
before you
in from a
came.
random person.
Yeah, but so you can read them out. Like maybe Ben, you can read the first one,
Okay.
and then you can go one by one. So I didn't.
What do you
write
mean one
these-
by one? How
as in
bloody
there's-
many are there?
We're here all day.
6 o'clock
You
tonight.
really hate us?
There's four. There's
Okay.
four.
Ooh,
All right. So
awesome.
yeah. So that way, if you just want to kick,
You
it
know,
off,
sometimes-
Benny
All right.
boy. So these are the internet send of you, not me. All right.
Yeah, all right.
Why? Why are they written?
Don't
Why are
hold
they
any
handwriting?
grudge.
Why aren't they in a device?
Dear Ben, your penis is so small, it's like trying to find an idol. What? Who sent that one in? Is that you?
Trying to find an idol.
Okay, that wasn't really. I
Imagine,
made
that,
that up
imagine when
myself.
they were digging through the popcorn machine on that show, and he's like, he found a penis.
Found Ben's penis, and he's in like another country. It's like
All right, this is actually pretty good. Ben looks like a discount Prince Harry. A discount. I love the term discount.
Discount.
It's like it's still on. It's like on sale. You know, like
Yeah.
we need to just get rid of it.
But people are still
ASAP.
buying. But yeah, but people are still buying discounts.
Of course, I appreciate- thanks, man.
Yeah.
Prince
Everyone
Harry,
loves a good sale.
That's
Prince
right.
Harry is an actual sex symbol. You know
Prince
what I mean?
Harry?
So if
I
you're a
don't find him
discount
that
one,
attractive.
well, I'm not saying for me, but I'm saying like the papers and the magazines. I'm sure there'd be enough women out there that would go and take Prince
See,
Harry.
I
If he
never.
wasn't famous overall, I don't
Well,
think
all
he'd
right,
be
so
good
out
looking.
so out of all the famous people, I'll take that.
Oh, double if you put your hand
All
on
right,
your
here
own
we-
leg.
yeah. All right.
Next line.
All right. They are tryhards.
Ouch.
Yeah, that's poor.
I do want to
do-
try
we
hard.
try
Actually,
hard, all right?
You need to go through these and find the good ones.
I thought these were roasts. After they came on Ninja Warrior, I stopped watching. We may be the reason there's no season 4. Do you realise that?
It's hard to hear that sometimes. No, like
Killed it.
it's bullet ricochets straight off. You know, you hear that. Like, it's people are
Yeah,
going to be
it does.
upset at the end of the day. Like whatever, it's all good.
Oh.
I mean, this was
No,
the next one was always going to
next
come
one's
up.
yours.
We got a nice one.
It's just one word, just straight up ranger, and I love that.
Just straight round.
When all else fails,
Ranger.
go with the simple tactics.
yeah.
When you
Sometimes
can't
they hit
think.
the hardest.
He's obviously we couldn't think of one. He's like, oh, just go
Speaking
right
of that, Rose, I did have an idea of there's no season 4, you reckon?
No, there is a season.
Oh, there
will
is
be
season
season
4.
four. I
Well,
think
if
we
it,
just
it does
found
ever get cancelled, I was going to chop in and like make my own one, but it's like a different one. It's Australian Ginger Warrior. So only redheads. Only redheads. Yeah.
I'm actually naturally a redhead as well. I don't know if you know that. I
Nah,
just
if
got my
you've
head
dyed your
done
hair,
today.
you're
Thank you, Kelly, my hairdresser. Shout
Yeah,
out to you.
give some clout.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I'm
I
naturally
like
redhead.
Australian
Olivia's-
Ginger Warrior.
Maybe we need
Yeah, I
to
think
Australian
it's got a
Ginger
nice
Warrior.
ring to it, doesn't it?
It does.
I mean, look. Well, you season 3 out of the females, you were number 1, and for the males and overall as well was what's his
Charlie.
name? Charlie, who's also a redhead.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I mean, they're crushing it. It's
Fire.
that pain
Yeah,
tolerance, I
crushing
think.
it. Yeah.
It was either Australian Ginger Warrior or Australian Finger Warrior. You know, remember,
Oh, hang on a second.
remember how
on.
we used to have the Tech Deck skateboards?
Ah,
It'd be
yeah.
like a ninja core.
like
cool.
just with the fingers.
Yeah. Imagine
Well,
the yellow.
He's got the best fingers.
Imagine the Yellow Pages guy on that show. He'd kill it.
I feel like-
he's like the symbol for it.
Imagine
feel
that,
like
like a
that's like
real
just-
close up of two fingers like hanging on the bar.
Doing
Like,
these ones.
I think that's something that could feature on Pornhub, maybe.
Oh, hang on a second.
Oh,
We were all thinking
Yeah,
it.
we're all thinking it.
yeah.
You know, I never ever thought I would date a redhead. Honestly,
Neither.
can you imagine if all of a sudden like you had little ones and that came out with like
They came
I
out
don't
I
know,
don't want to think about it. Stop right there, Luke. Don't finish that sentence.
Did you know?
black with blonde hair.
no, I wanted like I would only after America.
Maybe
I
they
was-
cancel each other out.
I was
Oh, yeah, maybe.
very much attracted to African Americans.
She loves black guys, I found out.
It's true.
My
then,
favourite-
then I saw her.
Then there's that term, once you go black, you don't go back. And I flipped it around. I was like, it means once you try it, you're like, I'm never going back to that.
Exactly.
Nah, then I saw the rolled up willy and I was like, wow.
Yeah.
Alright,
I know that's a
She-
fake. I know that's a fake white.
She found that
rolled
idol.
up willy because white guys don't have rolled up willies. They have just regular penises.
It's very regular.
Yeah.
She found my idol, and it's been the first idol ever since.
Bit of searching.
All right, third one.
Oh, you
Brian's
wrote
lost
this.
it.
I didn't write this. I promise.
Olivia
what's his
thinks she's the coolest person in Perth when really it's Luke.
Got him, duck, baby. Okay, baby, I wrote that one.
I mean, how could you disagree? Yeah.
Officially roasted.
Yeah.
This is where we need to have a sound effect or something.
Hey, Brian, we need a drop for that. Officially, not that one.
Just like a sizzle sound
yeah,
effect.
no, definitely not that
Yeah.
one. Definitely
Maybe.
not that one.
Oh, maybe
You
I'll
should
record the
just-
brisket sound.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah. Get that phone
God,
on
I'm
the
gonna be
brisket
famous.
You shouldn't call it.
How's that going?
A roast.
Still
You should
going?
call it a smoke or a
Smoked.
yeah.
It'd be
Has it
cool to have
stopped?
like just a 10-second segment of like
really?
a check-in for
That's
what
not
you're
working.
cooking this week as well.
We're
Just
always
like a
gonna
real
have some
quick, like
issues.
almost like a weather check, but a brisket check.
Yeah, yeah,
Like,
yeah.
it's cooking.
All right. So we'll wrap up the last one. As we wrap it up, we got last one.
We're good. We're just hour 15.
Oh,
All
right.
right, sweet. Yeah,
That's a good talk.
That's a good talk.
That's,
a good
talk.
that's average.
Yeah, yeah, 6 hours.
Say nothing.
People
Yeah.
tuned out after 5 minutes, mate.
Yeah. I'll probably listen to it.
Like,
sure
it
I'll
sounds his
look-
own voice.
Oh, when we did the one last week, I was like knocking my missus. I was like, "Oh, check this out. I reckon this is gonna be good." And like she like giggled a little bit. And I was like, "I told you it was fucking funny, eh?" Like, yeah, I reckon. Yeah, we're shooting.
You just listen, find out that you've just been cut out of the whole thing.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
the
the crow.
doors changed, locks, everything.
Yeah, they shot the crow.
All right, last roast, then we get a feed. Was there
That
one
was the
more?
last
was
one.
it? Was
That was
it?
4.
Oh, was it? Oh, yeah.
Unless
I've
you
Unless you can think of
You got
anything else
another
we
one
need
to
to
write
say.
down?
Think of one more?
Oh, we're talking about roast. And I haven't eaten today. So.
Yeah, let's get some food into us, eh?
Yes.
Thanks for coming.
Thank you so
Thanks,
much.
Ben. Thanks, Olivia. I
appreciate it.
Crow.
Cheers, Crow.
Thanks. No, it's the crow. You
Welcome
gotta
to the
say-
jungle.
You gotta say cheers, the crow.
Cheers, the
Cheers,
Crow.
the crow.
Yeah, cheers, guys.
Welcome to the jungle. Another episode done.
Yeah.
Cheers, everybody. Thanks for listening. Thanks for looking. Eagle Bay, guys. Eagle Bay, baby.
Screaming at the top of my chops, karate chopping pots, potting up a couple of crops. I think I've lost the plot. I sink a lot of shots, shooting savants. I don't know what's happening now, let alone in a month. A loaded gun couldn't cut me down. I cut the mustard and muster up the hounds. I'm hounding to let them out. Outing's got that canine cloud your judgment with the way rhymes spout. Keep it 100, I'ma make mine count.
I got your head nod, got your head nod,